What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the True Balls podcast. And we're back after a long, arduous time off. We're in video this time, hopefully, if this works. If not, forget about it. You're listening to the audio. I'll be fine anyway. JJ, how are you? How was your Christmas?
Oh, it was great. Jeez, it feels like a lifetime since we did one of these.
It does, yeah. When is it, I think? It's before the Rona came anyway, is it? Or maybe just as it was coming, possibly?
No, it was before it, because I checked our WhatsApp group, and so I think I put up a message on the 11th of March saying Michael Owen is talking shit for us to talk about, and I don't think we ever talked about it.
We haven't talked about it. He's probably still talking shit, the fucking prick. But
sure.
yeah.
What's new?
He never stops. Any crack with you anyway? How's life gone? Still alive? Still moving on?
Oh, grand. I'm getting very sick of being locked in the house now.
Yeah.
Sure, it's nearly over.
Yeah.
Nearly over.
Yeah, nearly over in like 3 years' time. Fuck's sake. You'll be a grandfather by the time this is over.
At least if we can move, in 3 weeks' time, I can go home or call down to your house for a session.
Speaking of, have to pop one of these on. It's actually funny enough if Thomas Delaney's watching, I actually procured some harp elsewhere as well. So beautiful harp. JJ, what are you? Have you any drink gone by you? What's the crack with you?
The one and only.
God fucking bless the harp boys. Hold on, we'll hold it up here so we'll have a good thumbnail. Go on, just hold up your harp there, JJ. Beautiful.
Sweet nectar.
Everyone pull out their cans and have a drink. What more could you ask for on Tuesday evening? Tuesday?
Yes, Tuesday night, yeah.
I was talking to one of the lads today, and I was sending him a voice message, and I was like, we were talking about putting up an article, and I was like, no, today is Wednesday. I spent about 30 seconds arguing with myself what fucking day it is. Just haven't the clue, but sure, look, these things happen. Right.
They're all the same now, sure.
They are. Every day, what difference does it make? The worst is the weekends, though, because there's no such thing as weekends anymore. It's soccer will be back anyway. Yeah. We're back. Yeah. It'll be all right. Right, JJ. First things first. Man United. How are we getting on? What do you think? State of affairs now. Man United. We know Man United. When Ole came in, we were doing well. Then we went to shit. Then we were doing well again. When we come back, where are we? What are we going to do?
It's impossible to know. Like, when it finished off in March or whenever it was, like, we were flying. Like, there was kind of a feel-good factor around the place. Bruno was playing well. Mm-hmm. All the boys were playing well. I was sure we were on for top four. And now, in theory, we should be better because we've got Rashford back. We've got Pogba back. The rest of the boys are still there. But it was like the Bundesliga, like the first 2 or 3 games, you didn't really know what you were going to get.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact we're probably coming back to our toughest game of the run-in.
Yeah.
Like, first game, Jose with about 13 weeks to plot how he's going to stop us scoring goals. Like, it's made to be a difficult one. But
Neil all written all over it, isn't it?
Yeah.
It really is.
You can be guaranteed, like, I know he got caught for training lads in the park, but you can be guaranteed he had a few fucking sly training sessions as well.
Like, I'd be kind of disappointed if Man United weren't at it. Now, I'll take, the coronavirus, take it seriously and all that, but, like, you're surely, like, this is a worldwide fucking enterprise. Well, like, okay, we talked about Luke Shaw before and the way he kind of gets out of shape and things at times. Like, do you think there's any notion that these lads will be, like, unprofessional enough to not come back in, like, tip-top shape after, how long is it now? Like, 12 weeks, is it? Is it that long?
It's more, I'd say, is it? I don't know. Yeah. Like, I don't know. Like, there's part of me is, like, do you hear people, they need so many weeks. It's like they need a pre-season again to come back fit. But, like, they were in the middle of a season flying fit. Like, they're professional athletes. They had nothing else to do. They couldn't go on holiday. It's not like it's the summer where they go on holiday for a few weeks and probably come back out of shape. But there's no reason they shouldn't be fit. Maybe match sharpness fair enough, but, like, they've had the last couple of weeks and apparently they played a, like, A versus B game kind of thing in training. So, like, should be reasonably sharp, but it's hard to know. Like, it's hard to know.
Luke Shaw, 2-3 stone overweight. What do you think? Would it be all right?
I don't know. I actually saw a picture of him. He didn't look too bad. He didn't look like Higuain looks anyway. Did you see that picture of Higuain?
Was that a bad picture though? I don't know.
Jeez, I don't know. He was beside Ronaldo and Dybala, like, so.
Dybala the fucking Rona, and he's looking well, isn't he, the cunt? Like,
no. I wonder how would it affect him. Like,
he said weeks later that he was still affected him and he couldn't breathe properly and he couldn't like run properly and stuff. So maybe he's better now, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see how long term, especially for professional athletes. Like we've literally never experienced that because, like, apart from the UFC, we haven't had any sports back really. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how it goes. I don't know. Like, I just picture Luke Shaw eating fucking chef ketchup and chips and like fucking Oreos non-stop and fruit and fibre. I'd say he'd be a great man for the fruit and nut bars. I'd say he'd be
I don't know. Like, I think the fact Williams is breathing down his throat, it would probably keep him a small bit honest. But yeah, we'll see. If he does come back out of shape, we've got Williams anyway. So I'm not too.
Do you think the whole Williams contract offer thing coming in the last 2 weeks was just to like get Shaw and give him a kick up the hole, like?
Potentially, yeah.
I think it's smart.
It's no harm to time down either. He's class, like.
Yeah, he is good. Yeah, he is. Well, he's still not 100% proven, but yeah, he could be good. I suppose it's very hard to analyze the season, how it's going to look for Man United, and all the teams are like, right. So Liverpool have the league one. We can all agree on that. Even though they were going to shit, as you called it. In fairness, you called it. They were going to shit, and they would have lost it if there's always be the asterisk beside it.
Yeah.
What do you think for the rest of the teams? Like, I know, say like the teams near the bottom, there's always one, maybe two teams who, you know, gets loads of points, and a couple of teams who gets drugged back in, and you know their home crowd helps them and things like that. And like Man United as well. Man United are notorious for having like a home crowd that's terrible most of the time, but good sometimes, and might drag them through towards the end. Like, is this going to be like very different, do you think, from other seasons where like, well, obviously it's going to be different from other seasons, but like results that maybe we would see normally, what we won't see this year, like?
I think so, because like, wasn't there some stat there the first week or two back in the Bundesliga, like that only 14% of home games were won or something like that, but and like it will play a part in it, I think. So there could be an odd result that like you just wouldn't expect. Like, even look at Liverpool. Like, Liverpool's main asset of Anfield is the atmosphere, probably, and it's fairly intimidating and stuff. So like, that's not going to be the same now. Not whether it makes a difference or not, I don't know, but you'd imagine it'll make a difference in some games. The only team it won't affect probably is Man City.
Yeah, they have the exact same crowd. It's a bit unfair, isn't it?
Yeah.
Although the Liverpool fans could still come out and attack the bus on the way to the stadium, so like, you know, they might still have that factor going from the fuckers.
They'll throw bottles from 2 meters apart.
Yeah. Just listen. Yeah, they have the window up in front of them, the fucking bus. Fucking washing the bottles with hand sanitizer before I throw them out. Oh god, but yeah, like I don't even know. Have you looked at the table? What's the crack with relegation? Like, I kind of hope Aston Villa go down, so we might be able to get Grealish easier. But other than that, like, what's going on?
I say Norwich were on the comeback. They're probably too late. I say I want to see Villa going down as well, purely that we might have a chance of getting Grealish. Jesus, it's even hard to remember who was down around there. Like.
I think that's the problem with it. I feel like this episode, we'll probably get away from the Premier League in a second and go to a few other things, but like, it feels like we're not back there yet. Like, it's weird, because when me with the UFC, I felt like that, and then there was fucking 2 UFC cards, and I was quickly kind of back into it. I feel like the Premier League will be the same. There's just going to be so much that we'll kind of get back into it. But like, what do you like? I was trying to think of it today, and I was talking to, I don't know who I was talking to, but we were on about like when the FA Cup, that we have dates for them. They were on about doing like a Champions League. I saw an article today on Sky Sports that they're doing like a World Cup style Champions League thing. I'd assume they do the same for the Europa League, but like, probably it's going to be really hard to get everything done. But at the end, the question is, and like, I don't think there's any answer to this yet. Like, when is next season going to start? What are they going to do with next season? Like, are we going to be able to travel? Like, are Man United going to be able to travel to play in the Europa League or the Champions League next year? Like, it seems all over the place, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, and it's like, I think the Premier League, it's not straightforward to run off, but at least it's a bit easier to run off. The FA Cup, maybe. Europa League be a bit more difficult. Like, I don't know how, with the travel restrictions and quarantines, it'll be more difficult to run off. Now, I'm sure teams will get allowances if they're all tested beforehand and stuff like that, but it will be difficult. But it's next season is the complete unknown, or even the transfer window. Like, but when do they all happen now? And then what's the knock-on effect of those? Like, because I'd assume next season has to finish on time because they've rescheduled Euros for next year. Like, so you can't drag on, like they can't push it out again. So
it's
it'd be interesting to see.
Yeah. It's also interesting, okay, we don't want to get like all coronavirus out, but like if there's a second wave, like what the fuck is going to happen then? Like, because how far can they push back the season, as you say, with the Euros coming up? Like, I feel like they should just play immediately now. The last game of this season, a week later, 2 weeks later maybe, get straight into next season. Like, they've had their 12 weeks off or whatever it is now. That's plenty. The transfer window is an interesting one. I actually saw today somewhere else as well. They said FIFA have given permission to the countries to open their transfer window, I think 2 weeks before the end of their seasons. So, like, what's the season going to be played out in 6 or 7 weeks? So the transfer window should be open in the next month or so. So I think, like, I suppose that does make sense, and the leagues can kind of decide for themselves then after that. So I think that kind of makes sense. So we'll kind of see how that goes. But like, it's so weird because it's all up in the air. You feel like right, they had a long time there where we were kind of seeing where everything was going, and then they reached a point where okay, we're bringing back football. We're doing all these different things with all the different sports. But they still there's so many things still up in the air, and I suppose like what can they do? But like, I feel like they, and you know, in soccer especially, but in other things as well, they need to schedule things. Okay, you might have to change the schedule, but you need some certainty there, and you need like people to be able to plan for next year, whether there's Europa League or Champions League or whatever, or just cancel things. Like, cancel the FA Cup if you need to cancel it next year, cancel the League Cup if you need to cancel it next year. But I think they like that certainty. Like, you're a businessman, you know all about this sort of thing, but like from a business point of view, even, do you think they need that certainty going into next year, next fiscal year, even if you want to call it that, when the transfer window opens?
Yeah, I think they do. Like, at least it's like you said, like it might get delayed, but you need to have a plan there or something to aim for. Like, because it's like when it's completely up in the air, you don't know. I think it was like Aidan O'Shea said that kind of in the middle of this about the GA as well. He was like, look, I don't like him. Like, but anyway, he made a good point saying that, like, give us a date that it's either happening or not happening. It's the unknown was killing lads. And it's the same with everything. Like, so that at least if they say, right, the season's running up until, I don't know, whenever it's finishing, mid-August, and then the new league starts first weekend of September. At least if they kind of had something penciled in, it gives a bit of structure. I know if it gets delayed, it gets delayed, but I think you need to have that plan up front.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Let's talk about some transfers in a second, but one thing I want to bring up first, and it's a thing I threw up in the group there about 2 weeks ago, Nani. Let's have an old chat about Nani now. Like, Nani was useless, right? He had one good season where he scored about 23 goals. The rest of the time, he was just this show pony who was really good at gymnastics, and he would score like a 30-yard screamer 4 times a season. Like, he was rubbish. Thoughts, JJ?
Incorrect. Incorrect.
What's
like incorrect? Everything you said there.
What's
everything
incorrect?
You said there.
Everything is correct.
Basically, everything you said, bar the fact he scored screamers, was incorrect. Like, we put this up so long ago now, I haven't prepared for this, so I don't have the stats to hand. But he was our top assist and goals from midfield for a couple of seasons, I'm nearly sure.
No.
He was like
Shinji Kagawa was better
and potentially better player, another Man champion, but he didn't do the same for United. Like, I think Nani was highly underrated. I even watched the Soccer Box there with Neville and Rooney, and to be fair, Rooney was absolutely brilliant, but he'd frustrate the life out of you, and I can completely understand that, because he'd score an absolutely unbelievable goal, and then he'd make an absolute hames of a 5-yard pass. Like, he was a bit erratic, but geez, he was very effective, and his stats were very good. I'd say, like, I don't have him to hand, but I'm nearly sure 2 or 3 seasons he was like top assists, goals, or up near the top assists and goals from midfield. Like,
I don't think there's any doubt that Nani had talent. Like, he was a very talented player, a good player, but like, as you say, erratic. He was like unbelievably erratic. Like, I always talk about Eden Hazard, and I'm maybe very critical of him, and more so than I should be. But like, Nani to me was just like more shit than good. Like when you talk about erratic, there's right, or he make 2 or 3 mistakes in a game or make a bad 4-yard pass, but he'd like score a screamer once every 6 games, and in every other game he'd hit 10 bad 4-yard passes, like, or just fall around the place and not run back and just be lazy and useless in general. Like, that was nanny to me. No, like, what's wrong with that? Like, that's correct. It's all correct.
No, like, you're right that he scored screamers and he'd mess up simple passes. He wasn't lazy, I don't think, and he wasn't useless.
He was, though.
Like, he hit double figures in goals and assists a good couple of seasons.
He did not.
And, like,
pull up the stats. Pull them up.
I can't because I don't have it in front of me.
Oh,
but
yeah. And you're using your phone. Yeah, you can't do it. Yes, I win.
Yeah, but like he definitely did.
Nah.
And like, he wasn't. He was never as good as his talent should have been.
Do you think? It was Ronaldo? Do you think everyone was expecting him to be the next Ronaldo, and then everyone's like, "No, he's not Ronaldo." So he's shit.
Yeah. Not everyone. You were like that. Yeah. I think most people probably appreciated him for how good he was.
Most people were fair to the poor lad. Like, I was just, he's shit. Fuck him.
Yeah. But like, to be fair now, out of the two of us, I think I've proven to be by far the better judge of a player so far in this podcast series. You said Scott McTominay was captain West Brom, and he'll probably end up captain of Man United.
Nah, he won't, because what age is he? 23? Harry Maguire will still be around long after he's gone. I was actually thinking about that today. Like, Harry Maguire is only, 26? Like, he's going to be captain of Man United for the next 6 or 7 years at least, I'd say. That doesn't seem right. Like, you know, he's a good player, but I don't know. He just doesn't seem like the Man United captain. Maybe he'll grow into it. He's only there not too long.
I think he was coming very good there. He started off a bit shaky, but he was coming very good. Like,
who championed Harry Maguire since he was playing for fucking Hull? Or whoever was he playing for before Leicester? Hull, was it? Yeah. I championed him.
You championed him so much you can't remember who he's playing for.
Yeah,
you did, to be fair.
Do you know who else I championed? And you don't even like him, but he did play well for a while. Trippier, when he was playing for Burnley, I was like, that lad is good. Someone should sign him, and then Tottenham sign him. Who else did I champion? Let's pull them all out here. Gareth Bale, I said he was the best player in the world to win for a world record fee. But look what came after injuries and so.
He was never the best player in the world. Maybe the best amateur golfer in the world. That's about it.
Who else did I champion? I championed so many people. Fellaini. I can't even remember. Fellaini, absolute class, non-stop, brilliant. Who have you championed who was any good? Fucking Jason Scotland. That's all you championed. De Gea is debatable, like, because
it's not even debatable. He was the best goalkeeper in the world for years.
Yeah, but like, how many years has he been in Man United? 10 years. He's been, for the first 3 years he was shit. For the last 2.5 years he was shit. For half his time he's been rubbish.
He was player of the season for 4 or 5 seasons there.
Yeah, but sure, he's rubbish the rest of the time. Sure, what's the point?
Do you know who was the only other player to win player of the season in those years?
Who?
Ander Herrera, another man I championed.
Another average player. Like, Ander Herrera is a good player, but pure average. I was dead right though, and I think you even agreed with me once when I said about Herrera that we need to get rid of him because we need better players coming in to replace him. Like Hernandez.
I never agreed with that.
You do that. Like, you do. We need better players. Nah, you do.
Fred, I stuck with Fred, and you also get rid of him.
I still think we should get rid of Fred. Like, what if Van de Beek comes in? Let him in there.
I'd keep Fred.
Nah. Keep Fred, but I wouldn't. I just don't think he's good enough.
Fred?
Too small.
Fred and Wan-Bissaka are probably up there for our player of the season so far, the two of them. Like.
Yeah, he has been good in fairness, but like, Ander Herrera was good as well, but I think we need better. I think we need, if we're to be the best team in the league.
You need better around him, like, but you can't have a midfield of Pogba's. Like, you need a lad who's willing to not do much, like just sit, pick up passes, break up the play. Every team needs one of those. Like, every team needs a Jordan Henderson, and he's a Brazilian Jordan Henderson.
I don't think we need, because if we were to play Pogba and Fernandez in the same team, we need a Roy Keane in the team. Like, we need a world class holding player. Like, we need someone who can hold the team together. I don't know. Is Van de Beek that player? Maybe he is. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. Is he holding? He's kind of more of a.
He's good in FIFA.
Yeah, but he's more of a kind of a passer playmaker type. No,
I don't know.
I wouldn't say he'll break up the play. Like Kante, is probably the man you'd need.
Exactly.
If he wasn't afraid to play.
Yeah, but he's back training now, so he'll be all right. But I don't know about him. Who else have you championed? So who else? Like, I feel like I championed lots of lads, and I just can't remember them now. Like, who else? I championed Ross Barkley when he was 16. I said he'd be good. Okay, he's been okay, like, but
another failure.
Don't know. Who would you champion out of the current Man United youth crop? So go on. Now's your chance to champion.
Oh, I've already championed him since he was about 14. Angel Gomez.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I love Angel. If we he's out of contract now as well. We need to keep him badly.
It's stupid. Like, I'd have let Chong go before I'd have let Gomez go.
Me too. Yeah, like Chong seems to have that Ryan Giggs factor that he had years ago when like his contract was coming up. He started playing well. Like Chong played like 3 or 4 good games there because he was obviously playing for a contract. But where was Gomez supposed to go? He was supposed to go to Italy as well. Maybe he'd be a bit dodgy about going to Italy now with everything that's gone on. But sure, England's fucking worse actually. So I know what I'm talking about. So.
Chelsea, they're on about, aren't they?
Yeah, they are as well. What about Chelsea? Well, let's get into the fucking German football while we're here. Timo Werner, Kai Havertz. My 2 boys. I haven't really championed Werner that much a bit. I have championed Kai Havertz to the hill, moon and back.
You have, yeah.
You don't like Timo Werner, do you? What's the crack? Why don't you like Timo?
Not really. I don't know if he's a real top player. Like, and I don't think you can judge it properly in the Bundesliga.
Mm-hmm.
He scored a lot this season, but I was looking through it there. It was the last week before. Like, he scored a couple of like 2 goals or hat tricks against kind of nothing teams.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't score against Bayern Munich. He did score against Dortmund, to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
But like, and at international level, he's not been unreal.
Yeah.
And like, let's say he comes to Chelsea. Right, Chelsea's style at the moment is the 2 wingers and kind of Abraham, kind of a bigger man up front. Like, where is he going to fit? He's going to play in the wing. Is he going to play up front?
He feels like
I think
if he came to Chelsea, could he be a bit of a Morata, like, and just be? I don't know. I like him. I think he's good, but I kind of agree with what you're saying. I don't think he feels like Liverpool ran about signing him. He feels like he could fit in there with that team that kind of moves around with their front 3 a lot, and like as you say with Chelsea, like. Pedro, obviously, when he comes in, he plays well for Chelsea. Or Willian's very much like a winger who just like whips in fucking crosses and takes free kicks and stuff. It feels like a guy like that who's like I don't know, like an open forward or something. I don't know what you'd call him. Like he doesn't seem like he is that number 9, which it feels like they're buying him for. So yeah.
I don't know. I think he's like a player you kind of have to accommodate. Like it's you can't go straight away. That's his position. Yeah. He's going to take over, and like. The 2 signs that make me think that he's not top level is like Klopp would know him from German football. Mm-hmm. He was available for 50 million and he didn't want him. So like he was obviously saying he's not good enough to replace any of the 3 I have. So I won't bother signing him.
Mm-hmm.
And then and the other thing that kind of makes me think he's not great is that I'm not that upset we're not going for it. Usually I'd be really pissed off, but I'm not that upset at all.
Yeah. What about Havertz? What do you think of him? Is he as good as I make out?
I've only seen flashes of him now, to be fair. I've not seen as much as you, but like the bits I've seen, he looks very good. Yeah. He does look very good. He'd be one. No, I'd be a bit annoyed if Chelsea got him ahead of us, but I don't think we're going to get him. I don't think Chelsea will get him either. I'd say he'll go to Bayern.
Yeah, it's 75 million. I think they're saying with Chelsea today. Like, I think that'd be a fucking snip. I was reading the thing, and okay, it's not always the best to read, but like a German journalist was talking about him, and he was saying like he could be the next Zinedine Zidane. Like, he's that good. He looks like that sort of player who's just kind of quick and smart and knows sort of spaces. Like, I was watching him a couple of games. Maybe was it? I think it was last year, and he was playing like in midfield, as kind of an attacking midfielder, playing maybe in a 3. And now he's been playing up front in the last few games, and like he's been banging in goals, and he's finishing looks good. He just looks so composed. Like Man United are on about. I saw. I know we were talking about it the other day, but they're on about like Grealish and Sancho, but not or Grealish or Sancho. So like I feel like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer maybe thinks of Grealish. Rather than playing him as a 3 in midfield, he'd play him like instead of maybe Mata, where he's like a winger who comes in and plays in that way. So like I feel like Havertz could do that job as well if you need him for Man United, but could play like, you know, kind of either of those 3 positions between like the 8, the kind of the 9 and 10, and then maybe a winger as well. So like, what would Grealish cost, you reckon? Like, would Grealish cost 75 million?
I don't know. If they don't get relegated, potentially, if they get relegated, surely you get him for 50, 60 region. I don't
Yeah.
know. That's what I'd assume.
Who would you rather?
Because Havertz or Grealish.
Yeah.
See, I don't know. I was actually thinking about this today because, like, I think we just need Sancho because for how many years now we've not had a proper right-sided player,
Yeah.
and like if you get Grealish or like I don't know enough about Havertz. Is he kind of a winger style? He's more central from what I
Yeah,
know
no,
about him.
yeah, he's not really a winger. No, he'd either play up front or
So,
kind of 10 or just behind in midfield.
so you're essentially buying another kind of Mata to stick out in the wing, like. So I think we need Sancho to address that side, and then it's probably between like a Havertz or Grealish for kind of a central role, and then you've Donny Van de Beek thrown in there as well. So it's like they're all kind of vying for similar positions.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I don't know who I'd want. Like all along, I was like, we should Grealish because he knows the league, he's young, he's their captain. Like he's obviously leadership material, but then he goes and wrecks the Jeep. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I think it's very interesting, like, because right, I think even if you want Fred to play, I think we need another holding player. Okay, McTominay is good as well, but I think we need a world class holding player. I think most Man United fans agree with that. But like, okay, that'd be whoever it'd be. But like, the two in front with Fernandes and Pogba, it looks like Pogba's not going to go now. It looks like Real Madrid can't afford him. We might get to the whole financial aspect in a second.
Yeah.
Like, where's Grealish? And I know we were talking about maybe Grealish being a winger, but like Grealish or Havertz, like where would they play in the team if they're going to play Pogba and Fernandes together?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, because in my head all along, Pogba was gone.
Yeah.
Like he was gone, and Grealish was coming in to kind of not replace him, but like he's just another midfielder. And if Pogba doesn't go, I don't know if you'd be kind of buying him and you'd be almost overloaded in the midfield. But maybe it's like you said, he'd be a better alternative to some of the lads we have, maybe. But yeah, I don't know. Where would you put him? Yeah, it's a tough one. I think Pogba needs to go as the bottom line.
Yeah. Like, does he need to go though? Like, I don't think we can get rid of him, to be honest, right now. And I'd be very interested. Now, that was one of our topics, Pogba coming back. What, like, do you think Pogba will come back and he'll be maybe playing for a move, or will he be playing to like make Man United believe in him again, or will he just come back and sulk and fake an injury after 10 minutes like he did last day, just so he can get a picture in the new Man United kit?
Yeah, I don't know if he'll come back and sulk, but like, there's a lot of talk that Bruno could rejuvenate Pogba, like he'll want to stay at United because of Bruno and all this stuff. And I was like, if that's the only reason he's staying and he wasn't man enough to step up and do the job himself in the first place, we should get rid of him whether he wants to stay or not.
Yeah.
Like what's to say he won't turn again next season and just decide not to play?
Yeah. Like, Bruno has like made everyone better though, hasn't he? Since he came, like every player from Man United, like Rashford has been better, Martial has been better. Like, I'd like to see him first. I think Pogba is the most overrated player in the world. Like, people say he's a world class player, he's Man United's best player. He isn't. He's shit. He's never proven that. He's had a few good games for Man United. On his day, he's very good, but he's not a world class player. Like, he just simply isn't. World class players do it day in, day out, week in, week out. And even someone like a Hazard, who maybe doesn't do it like that, who does it 10 times a season, let's say, people call him a world class player. Pogba doesn't do that. Like, when was the last time Pogba had a great game? Maybe he's had 2 in the last 18 months. Like, that's the sort of player Pogba is. So I think he's a lot to prove. Maybe, you said there earlier about good players making players around them better. Like, I think Hernandez is a genuine good player. Like, Hernandez has had more good games for Man United already than Pogba has had, like, in fucking 4 years and 2 stints. Like, do you think that's a possibility that Fernandes makes him better?
He probably will, like, because he'll take a bit of the pressure off him and free him up a bit. But like, I kind of agree with your thing on Pogba. Like, I think he's world-class potential, but not a world-class player. And he's now 26, 27, is he? I don't know. What is he, 26? Like, like, you're getting a bit old for being potential. Like, so at some point you need to start delivering. Because like, if I was thinking this as well today, if the two of them are playing together and like we're kind of playing the 4-3-3 almost formation, like, what's Pogba's position? Like, where is his best position? Like, everyone's saying, his best position is when he's kind of left roam free and he'd parallel pass him, but like, we don't have that. So where, like, what is he really good at. Like,
Yeah.
I couldn't really pin it down. Like, he's an unbelievable passer, but he can't sit deep and break up the play and then pass the ball.
Mm-hmm.
So that rules out that position. Like, when he goes forward, he's a bit lazy getting back. So I don't know. I'm torn on him. Like, I just don't know quite where he fits, and I don't know whether it upset the kind of rhythm they had going before he came back.
Yeah. I feel like, do you know what I'd like to see? Everyone's thinking like with Fred Holding and Pogba and Fernandes in front of him. I'd actually like to see Fernandes in front, and then Pogba and Fred, not necessarily Holding, but Fred staying back and letting Pogba go up and down, being that box-to-box player that we don't really see. Like, Pogba's a bit of a Gerrard. Like, he'll pop up in the big moments and he'll try to do big things when he can. He's not a fantastic player all the time. He's an average player most of the time, like Gerrard. And I feel like he's better when he sees things in front of him. Like, he's going to spray those 80-yard Hollywood passes that do nothing. Like, that's the type of player Pogba is, like Gerrard. And I feel like if they played him there, that might open things up. That might get Hernandez into the game more. And with the wingers we have as well, like, especially, let's say they bring in Sancho and they have either Rashford or Martial on the other wing, or Dan James or whoever it might be. Like, Pogba playing balls over the top from a deep position, getting them running onto him. Like, that's dangerous. And that's what we played against Man City and against other teams, and we caused Man City especially awful problems doing that. Like, I feel like that's where you play him. What do you think?
Yeah, in theory, you're right, but I think he's not shown the discipline or the desire often enough for me to have faith that he'd do it.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt he can do it, but like, remember when Ole came in first and he had that unbelievable streak of 5 or 6 games or whatever it was, maybe more.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I remember a couple of goals, he absolutely burst into the box and he scored headers and stuff. He was like almost a Yaya Toure. Like, he's got the frame, he can move, and he's unstoppable when he wants to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, that's once in a blue moon, and whether maybe he will be a bit happier now, and if he decides he wants to stay, he might kind of reapply himself. But I'm of the opinion, once you've shown your colours like that, you should be shown the door. Like, I'm cutthroat. I don't, as you know, I don't forgive and forget easily.
I know fucking well. I know that, yeah, I'd get rid of him as well. I just don't think he's good. I would forgive and forget, but I just think he's rubbish, so I'd get rid of him. Go on. What were you saying?
I don't think he will go though, because
can't afford to.
Like, you'll be looking for 100 million range, and no one's going to pay that for him now, I don't think.
What do you think of that though? Like, the prices, like, say Havertz, like 75 million feels less than he'd normally be going for, or like Grealish, even we were talking about maybe 50 million to 70 million. Like, what do you think prices because of the Rona will be less? Do you think, is there, like, we haven't really even talked about Sancho. We've mentioned him a couple of times, but he feels like Man United's number one target. Do you think he will be less? We were talking about 120 million beforehand. There's like the talks of 90 million now. Do you think, like,
I don't know, I'd say,
go on. What do you think?
I'd say he'll still be in the 100 plus mark, because Dortmund have kind of said they don't need to sell, like.
Yeah.
So I don't know about him, but I think in general other players might be, because like clubs will be a bit stretched.
Mm-hmm.
But then the market is so crazy still. Like you were saying there, prices have dropped. Like, a Grealish for 50 to 70 million is reasonable, and in today's market it probably is, but like, still a heap of money. Like, like before you would pick, let's say Aston Villa got relegated, we pay 50 million.
Mm-hmm.
Before, if a team got relegated, you pick them up for 7, 8, 9, 10 million. Like, so it's still crazy money, but I get your point. Like, he'd probably be 80 million, let's say, if things were going normal.
Yeah.
So
hopefully we get to, like, if you had to pick, say 2 players to sign from Man United, who would they be?
2. Sancho definitely one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Grealish, even though part of me wants us to sign that young lad from Birmingham. I know nothing about him, but I have a feeling he's going to be class.
I'm the same. He's a big unit, like, playing holding midfielder. That's what I want. Yeah.
And it's purely the fear of missing out, because we could get him now, and if we don't get him now, we'll end up spending 150 million on him in 3 years' time. Like,
yeah, and like, what's the worst that can happen? He can be next to Nick Powell, like, and we'll just forget about it. So it'll be grand. It's like it's a lose-lose situation, really. Like, you know.
But like, they're on about like paying 30-something million for that lad. But is he not signing a professional contract? Should it not just be the couple of million
I think
fee, like whatever it is.
I think he like respects Birmingham a lot, and he's going to sign like a year-long contract with them or something, just so they can get money or something. Like that. He'd go to
Don't
arbitration
bother with
anyway
him,
or
so.
something. I don't know. I feel like he feels like a nice guy. I know I like him. I'd talk him up. I'll tag him in the podcast and say bring him on. come on, Jude. Come on, we want you. We'll be nice to you. Come on, Ian. Come on down. But
Because they're on about signing his brother as well.
yeah. Dude, fucking he might be better. He might turn into fucking Fabio. He might be better than Raphael. So
whether that's a sweetener or not, or whether he's actually good, I have no idea. But feck it, get it done.
Yeah, he could be class, you'll never know. Right, last couple of things before we go. Your boy Igalo, Odion, he's back.
Oh,
keeping him. You delighted?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely delighted. Like, I'm delighted because the shite that was talked when we signed him first, and I was like, this is literally a win-win. Like, he's on loan. If he doesn't do well, what about it? But I had a feeling he would, just because he was such a fan. Like, but I'm delighted he's staying. But it's still a weird move, like, because he's there till mid next season. What if he's flying and then they have to negotiate again and he doesn't stay? It could completely disrupt your season. Now, chances are he'll only be kind of a bit part player, a sub. But it's still a bit of a strange one. But I'm delighted he's staying still. Like.
Yeah, I'd take him or leave him. I thought he's done well. I've no problem keeping him. But I like the move because of Mason Greenwood. Like, I don't think Greenwood is 100% ready to be the go-to striker all the time or the fellow we're throwing on with 10 minutes left. Like, I think Gallo would be a better guy to throw on with 10 minutes left if you want to lash balls in or you need to, throw crosses up them or something. No, I like Mason Greenwood. I think he's going to be one of the best players in the world. I think a lot of him. But too much pressure too early, having him as like we really only have Rashford and Martial as our strikers, and like one of them is going to be playing on the wing, whoever is playing. So we need Igalo as a sub, and we need Mason Greenwood as a sub as well. So I think to take a bit of the pressure away from Mason Greenwood alone, I think it's a good reason to keep Igalo. So yeah, I'm not.
Like I wouldn't even put Rashford in the striker bracket yet. Like I don't think he's very good through the middle. He's unbelievable off the left. I don't think he's great through the middle.
Yeah, I
Martial
agree.
is
Especially for the last year, Martial has been very good through the middle, and Rashford has been very good off the left. So yeah, it's the right wing. Like, there was rumours of Dan James going on loan or being sold. I know you're a big fan of Dan James, but like I'd keep him as well. He's good. Like, he's a very good sub. Especially I think it was Al Foran tweeted the other day, like, if you have 20 minutes left in a game and it's 3 or 4 games left in the season and you've old like slow defenders or whatever and they're tired, who better to bring on than Dan James and lash balls into him? Like, perfect.
He's an X factor, like, with the pace, and like, it's not like he hasn't performed well. Fair enough, he went through a bit of a slump, but like, he played way more than I'm sure he'd anticipated to play, and it's a big jump to make. Like, there are far bigger players than Dan James haven't made it United straight away. So like, there's no way I'd sell him. I wouldn't let him on loan either, but at least a loan might make a little bit more sense. There's not a hope I'd sell him. He's still. I think he's a very good player, and he's a very, very good squad player to have.
Yeah, he's a good squad player. I don't think he'll ever be a great player, to be honest. He's good, he's pacey, and he's always a good sub to have, a good squad player. I think we have a few good squad players. I know you probably disagree, but I think Andreas Pereira is a good squad player. Like, he can play holding midfielder 10, he can play on the wing. I think he's a good squad player. I don't think he'll ever be a starter.
He can't play there. He can stand there. He cannot play there. He can't play anywhere.
No, he was good at number 10 there at the start of the year. I thought he did well now. Andreas he's a good trier, like. He's a good old player. Poor old Andreas.
No.
He's class. He's very good. Same as McTominay, sure. He's just, a bit part player, kind of. An average.
Don't even start on him.
Average.
He's one that should go. I have a feeling he won't go. I have a feeling we'll be stuck with him, but geez, he should go.
No, keep him. Do you know who we should let go? Diego Dallo, and get fucking Hakimi. That's the boy we need. He's class.
Yeah, there's not a hope to get him now. He's going back to Madrid, I'd say.
Class in FIFA too, yeah, probably. Right, last 2 things. Speaking of loan deals, we should fucking get Dean Henderson back from loan. Fuck up Sheffield United season. Don't let him back there for the last 9 games. They get fucking relegated. We'll get top 4. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. Job done. You disagree, do you?
No, I do disagree.
What? Just because you love, what's his name? What's fucking Sheffield United?
Chris Wilder.
Chris Wilder. You love him.
Absolute legend. I do love him.
Who would you rather see get top 4? Man United or Sheffield United?
Man United, obviously, but Sheffield United a close second.
I'd say you'd go for Sheffield United just so you could be proven right, like.
No, I wouldn't. I'm very close to it, but let's say they'd soften the blow if they got it ahead of us.
Yeah.
But no, I'd never put them ahead of us.
You'd love it, you liar. You'd fucking, I know you too well. You would be fucking celebrating if Sheffield United got fourth. I mean, United didn't. Oh,
Chris
God.
Wilder, another man I championed.
Yeah, he is, in fairness. That's sick.
Champion at about 57 or 60 years of age, whatever he is, but I championed him.
You want to be careful, though. I championed fucking Roy Hodgson there last year. You want to be careful now, Sheffield United get fucking relegated next year. You look like an awful dope altogether. But
yeah, I know. But
yeah.
I just think it will be... it'd be very bad form for us to not extend the one. Like, no, you could do it, of course, but I don't see who would benefit. We'd look like United would look like arseholes. I doubt Dean Henderson would be too happy, because if they do bring him back, he's not going to play, I'd imagine.
I don't think he even can play, can he? I don't think he can register lads like in the middle of the season. Yeah,
probably not. So like, he's not going to be able to finish the season, so he's going to be a bit upset. And then it would only make sense if you had nailed on you were going to sell De Gea and he was number one next year. But other than that, you're only upsetting Sheffield United, making United look like arseholes, and upsetting Dean Henderson. There's no... Yeah, it just... Fair enough, they might get top four, I see your point, but like, no, I wouldn't do it.
I'm a bigger prick than you. I'd definitely do it.
Yeah, if that's all we're depending on to get top four, then
it is. It could be, yeah. Right, so who's going to get top four? I'll call out a few of the points here. It's very fucking close. So we'll go from Arsenal up. Arsenal in 9th position, 40 points, 28 games. 29 games, Tottenham, 41 points. 28 games, Sheffield United 43, Wolves 43 on 29 games. Man United 45 in 5th place on 29 games. Chelsea 3 points ahead in 4th place. And in Leicester 5 points ahead of Chelsea. So Leicester 8 points ahead of Man United with the same amount of games. I know there's a lot of mathematics there. You put the fucking maths around my head there. But will Man United get top four?
Before we stopped, I said they were nailed on for it. I was extremely confident, so I'm going to stick with that. I think they will. I think they'll catch Chelsea. Like, don't Chelsea have Williams out of contract? Was he out of contract?
Yeah, but what about Chelsea are after buying about 4 lads, having not bought them yet, really, and like that's going to give impetus to Tammy Abraham and all them boys to start playing better. You know? Yeah,
but like, I don't know. I still don't think so. Like, if half your team is leaving or kind of thereabouts with contracts, would they be really motivated to play? I don't know. I think we'll catch them anyway. Leicester, I think, are the luckiest team in the league after Liverpool, because they were gone. I think they were going to get caught, but they've had a chance to kind of regroup now. So I'd say Leicester, they're probably that bit far ahead. So I'd say Leicester would stay there, and I think we'll get 4th.
Wolves dangerous as well. Like, Wolves have a good team, they have a good striker, they have a good defence, they have the best player in the world, Adama Traore. Like, they have a fantastic team. So
are you still going to call him the best player in the world if Liverpool signed him?
Fuck it. I don't know. Do you know what? He is, in fairness, all jokes aside, he's the best right back in the world in FIFA. Like, he's fantastic. He just bombs up the fucking wing. Like, there's no catching him. There is no catching him.
Do you know what the irony in all of this was?
What?
You said Nani was shit, and Adama Traore is a worse version of Nani for erraticness.
That's so true. You're 100% right there. I give you that. I will give you that, in fairness. You are right there. Oh, God, yeah. He's fast, though, isn't he? Like, all I want to see is Dan James and Adama Traore running like against each other. Who would win?
Jeez. Oh, I'd say Traore, would he?
Yeah,
I don't know.
He'd just fucking nail him out the way. Like, he'd have been a slap of an elbow or something. I'd love it.
Imagine them two boys on the wing, like.
Oh, stop. We should sign him, like, 100%. Sign Adama. Bring him in. Class act Adama. Best player in the world. Like, he's genuinely the best player in the world. I love Adama more than fucking my own family. He's brilliant. Anyway, right. That's it. Fun podcast. We're back. We'll probably have one in like 2 weeks' time. Probably won't, but we'll we'll see you again, JJ. Any final parting words for the people?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank our sponsor that has yet to give us money, Box Physio.
Show him the t-shirt. Show him the t-shirt.
Riff and
No,
Box.
up. You need to go up. There you go. Yeah.
The best physio to administer no physio service whatsoever. He just convinces you in your mind that there's nothing wrong with you and you'll fix yourself.
They'll send you a great email of plans to fix yourself.
Yeah,
That'll never happen.
He's more like a psychiatrist than a physio.
Yeah, make sure you wash your hands before you go to him.
One person is going to get that and no one else.
I don't even think
Search
he
out
gets
Bovox Physio on Instagram.
Yeah.
And Twitter.
Bovox.com probably isn't, but you'll go there anyway. Right?
Yeah.
Thanks, JJ. Thanks everyone for listening. We'll see you all next time. Good luck.